Okay, in this video what I'm going to do is install StaffTab SQL on an HP Stream portable device running Windows. As you can see, I've actually got the HP Stream as the presenter in my meeting here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I've opened up the folder and I'm going to switch over to my tablet here, and I've got a setup.exe program, so I'm going to go ahead and run that from my StaffTab SQL dist folder in order to install StaffTab. After I'm done installing it, I'll be connecting it to a SQL Server database. Now, in case you're not sure, StaffTab SQL, what that's for, it allows tutors, advisors, staff members to sign in students with a portable device. So they can walk around the tutoring center, for example, and then help students out as they sit down with them. Okay, so I've launched the installer, and it's a minimal installer. In other words, there's not a whole lot you're going to have to do. It makes it easier to install on a portable device. I'll click Next, and then it'll immediately install the program. Okay, now that's complete, and you'll see there's launch this program checked, so I'll click Finish. And what it will do is copy some files out real quickly. It needs to run. And then it's going to open to a native database, in other words, a tutoring sample database running off its own local folder. So now I'm going to log in to that default database. I don't necessarily have to, but I can just to go take a look at it. And one of my tutor IDs and passwords I know for my default database is 000. So I'll open up my keyboard, and it's 000555555. The password is exactly the same thing, 000555555, and click Done. So now it's opened up my Staff tab. If I was a staff member, I could do things like manually sign a student in if I want to help them, create appointments for students, view the intake system or students that are waiting to be helped, pick them off the list and help them, etc. So then I'll just pick a student, and in this case I don't have a category, so we'll try somebody else. I'm not sure who's got a category or who doesn't. And again, that's set up, probably registration is turned on, so students see their registered classes. So I'll try one that I think would probably have some registration, my David Foster here. And I have a course tutoring category available. I'll tap that. And again, I'm the staff member sitting down and helping the student. Let's say anatomy and physiology, and click OK. Now my student is signed in, and then I can do things like manage the student, take session notes for the student, sign the student out, so lots of different things. And there'll be a follow-up video on the usage of sign-in pad here, but this is strictly to get it running. So, okay, I'll go ahead and exit now. And again, I'm running in native mode. So what I want to do now is set it to my actual SQL Server database. Okay, now I can do that by going to the folder where it's installed, and I have a shortcut here on my desktop that I can click on and open file location. So here's the installation folder, but what I'm looking for here is there's a program, and I guess before I do that I should mention again, as I always do, you're going to need the native SQL connectivity driver in order to connect to a SQL Server database. There's a 32-bit SQLncli.msi or an x64 MSI. So you can just run that installer for whatever bit OS it is and accept the defaults. I think it's already installed, but I could try it here. This is a 32-bit tablet. and it is. So I'll just click modify, and it would look just like this. I've clicked next, accept the defaults, and click install, and that's all I need to get my SQL driver installed. Okay, so back up a level here. And what I'm looking for is I have a program that enables me to set my data connection parameters. And that's called StaffTab, okay, right here. So I'll run that, StaffTab.exe. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in my SQL Server information. I'll say set database location, SQL Server mode, next. Okay, now I'll put in my server information. Okay, put in my authentication, so I'll use SQL Server authentication in this case. Test my connection, and it looks like it doesn't like my login. Oh, because I have my SQL Server instance wrong, so I'll go switch that real quick. And this should be an S here. Okay, there we go. So once I've done that, I'll click Save. Oh, sorry. Once I've done that, then I'll pick the drop-down box and pick the database that I want to connect to. And it may take a moment or two to populate. Okay, there we go. So I'll find the database I want in my list, pick this one, and then I'll pick Save, tap Save. That saves my connection information. Now I'll just go ahead and X out of the program. I don't really need it now. Okay, now if I wanted to, I could set a local lab too. Local labs, again, I do have a lot of information on that. That would be like you know, I'm in the math center, so I want to set my device here to math center, so I collect math sign-ins or computer lab. So I guess I could run that real quick. I'll just run setup again. And then set local lab. Okay, and then I can pick from my drop-down list if I want to pick a lab other than default all lab. So I'll set it to computer lab just to be different. And then tap Save. And it's saying change lab to computer lab. I'll say yes, sure. And then I can exit. Okay, and then I'll close my program. Okay, now again, I have an icon on the desktop. I could have opened it there from the program folder, but I'll go ahead and double tap the icon here to open it again. And remember, now I'm set to a SQL Server database and I'm set to a computer lab. So now again, I'll enter some tutor credentials. 000555555 again. Same for password, and that's my default ID. Yours may obviously be different. Okay, but now I'm in the pad, and I can do a sign in again. And I'll pick a student. And you can see now my category is computer labs because I only have computer lab activities in that local lab. And I have two types of computer use activities, academic or personal. I'll say academic. And you can see the name Cindy Bright. That's who I signed in, the 0005555. That's Cindy Bright, the tutor. I'll click OK. I'm signed in. And then I go through the whole process of managing, signing in, creating appointments for whatever I want to do as a tutor, in this case, as I'm sitting down and working with the student. Once I'm done, I sign the student out, and then it goes back. Oh, it asked me, I'm sorry, if I'd like to edit my session log. So if I want to enter some session notes for the student, I can do so. Or not, so I'll just revert comments, but I could enter any kind of information about my session, close, and then I'm right back to where I started. I go walk around the room, find the next student, sign them in, do my thing. Okay, I exit, and then I'm done.